Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades. And like always, it's smoke to you dirty, rotten scum of the earth, spineless, cowardly, COINTELPRO boxing fan devils. You enemies to the sport of boxing. You defenders of everything that is wicked in the sport. Those of you who secretly want to change the character of honor, integrity, and respect of the warriors of the sport. Today, unfortunately, I'm here to announce that another fighter trained under Eddie Reynoso, has popped hot for PEDs, testosterone levels reported to be too high in his urine sample, his A sample. But what is shocking to me is that this happened on May 4th. And I find it so interesting that this has been suppressed by the mainstream boxing media. But anytime a top black fighter has any kind of controversy, it is on the front line of mainstream boxing media, and you spineless cowards who call yourselves boxing content creators, but you are always on the wrong side of right when it comes to the sport. So I'm at a point now where unfortunately I realize there is a conspiracy going on. And you might say, no, coach, it's not that serious. No, coach, everybody does it. No, everyone does not do it. We are approaching a strange time where everyone wants to change their stance constantly. People don't want to have a backbone. I don't want to hear anything about snack. I don't want to hear any more accusations about Devin Haney and Terrence Crawford and Victor Conte and VADA isn't this and WADA isn't that. I don't want to hear any of that from any of you punk race fans and fanboys until you can defend why 6 fighters that I can think of off the top of my head, 6 of them, Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, Oscar Valdez, Martinez, Luis, and now Munguia, have all popped hot, and there has been no repercussions, not one, for this camp. There has been no investigation, no real investigation. Fighters have been hurt. Boxing has been hurt on several occasions because of these PED incidents. We can look at the last year alone. What did the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney incident do for the sport? Did it raise the stock of boxing, of American boxing, or did it lower it? It lowered it. It put a halt to a few great fights that we should have saw in the last year. Then when the event in New York happens where Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney are on the same card, it doesn't even live up to what it should have been. And some of you are okay with that. disgusting. The state that we are in right now, there is no excuse. If this was anybody else, if this was Derrick James' camp, if this was Calvin Ford camp, if this was Virgil Hunter's camp, would we be saying the same thing? You all know it will be a complete different response. They will be dropping down a RICO act, a RICO charge on a black trainer who had 6 top of their fighters piss hot and be champions at that. There will be a congressional investigation. But this is where we are. This is the hypocrisy. See, you all thought that as long as it's a fighter you don't like being cheated against, that it is okay. But then when these chickens come home to roost, now you all want to act like you don't understand where the wrongdoings came from. It's like the injustices just came out of nowhere. And now we have to put our foot down. And I will be dropping another video that will premiere on Sunday that's going to go deep into a lot of these injustices. And I'm going to give direction on where we are headed because of things like this. These are the consequences that our fighters have to look in the mirror and realize that they made room for crap like this. What do I mean? Every single time one of you fighters, one of you top black American fighters who have influence, had a chance to speak up, have had a chance to stand on right and the truth, you decided to turn your head. Many of you. We have maybe 1 or 2, 3 will be pushing it, who have at least called it how it is. But that's not what's happening. So not only can people call us niggers and get away with it, and there'll be no repercussions, but as long as you are cheating and you are with a certain camp, or you are cheating and you beat a certain top fighter that everyone doesn't like, it's okay. The green light is on. Family, there is some kind of conspiracy going on. And I'm going to tell you what I think it is. Number 1, I believe wholeheartedly that there are people who are conspiring, who are all part of a family, organization, or clique, from the sanctioning bodies to the promoters, to the fighters, down to the trainers on the West Coast that knows what's going on. They are trying to corner the market. They are trying to allow a certain type of fighter. And I believe I would not be surprised if there are people at the very top that knows what's going on at these promotion companies. And as long as they give our fighters a run for their money, they are going to keep this crap going. You can miss me with, you don't think that's what it is, and blah, 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 blah. BS. There is no reason why. There has been no repercussions. Think about this. How many fighters have you all known to piss hot and get less than a 2-year suspension I'll go deeper than that, family. Let me ask you a question. Why is it when Floyd Mayweather fought Zab Judah and Roger Mayweather jumped in the ring, Roger Mayweather could not go into a boxing event, professional boxing event, anywhere in the nation for 2 years? They had to fight to get that uplifted, and they had to fight hard. And that was just for jumping in the ring when Floyd was hit way below the belt and a fight broke out. And they say that Roger started that fight. Okay, fine. That's warranted. Now, let me ask you this. How come when there was the scandal with Margarito's hand wrapping and the loaded gloves, all those people involved were never banned from the sport of boxing? Listen to me. None of them were banned or stopped from coming into boxing events or even being in a boxing corner. Ever. This is not me just making this up. Now, fast forward a few years later, when Madonna tried to use those gloves with no padding in it, some of those same people that were in Margarito's corner are in that clip. Go back and watch it. How the hell does that happen? How are they still allowed to even be in that situation to make the sport of boxing look the way it looks? But only us who knows what's really going on and watches the sport would be able to see that and say, hey, isn't that such and such? And it's a few of you I'm not calling out yet because I want to see how this plays out. So I'm not going to go all the way into the conspiracy. Some of that's going to be in my video for Sunday. But just think about that. Think about how our fighters, trainers, coaches are treated. Think about how they're chastised and punished quickly. Unless somebody like Eddie Hearn comes and vouches for them and gets them out of trouble. But for the most part, if it's us, that's your black ass. So what's up with that? How is it they keep getting these slaps, these little taps on the wrist when they are popping hot over and over again in a sport? And check it, people. I don't know if you know this, but these are only some of the top fighters in the camp. Now, if we go and look at some of these other fighters who are coming up, all of them aren't getting VADA tested. Because a lot of times, the fighters or the sanctioning bodies has to pay for it. So it's not VADA doing the testing every time. So how many of these fighters you think are cheating? Let's just get down to it. How many of these fighters do you think is cheating? I want you all to ask yourselves these questions. How come these people who keep getting caught cheating, whether they're on PEDs, whether they're loading their gloves, and then on top of that, you so-called warriors who scream Mexican style, the heart of a warrior, right? You can't scream that and keep getting caught cheating. They don't go hand in hand. So when you do this, you disrespect the Mexican champions that came before you. But you have these punk ass fighters who are racist, who have these cowardly, spineless fan bases that are trying to tell you, well, it's all right, it's all good. So let's look at this. Let me show you how cowardly some of these guys are. I seen a post where one guy said, well, what about Terrence, who has never popped hot for anything? It is a post gaslighting to take attention off of Munguia, who was under Eddie Reynoso popping hot, and to bring attention to something else. I see another comment says, well, Conte knows how to mask it. Go ask Conte. So like a devil, instead of them just calling out saying what they're trying to say, which is you're trying to say that Devin Haney is a cheater. That's what you're trying to say, because that Conte crap you all didn't start until it was Devin and Terrence looking like they were going to be the next Floyd Mayweathers. Let's just call it how it is and have an honest conversation. You MFers are bringing down the sport of boxing. And the world, the boxing world, is laughing at us. And these are the consequences. This is what happens. None of this would be able to go on if our fighters would just stand up. If you would just unify and stand up, none of this would go down. But listen, they can do these things and still go box at Floyd Mayweather's gym. They can do these things and know that we're going to get right on social media and forgive them and say love is love. They can do these things and come around our athletes and our entertainers and be welcomed with open arms. So why would they stop? It's time to close ranks. Because if we don't get it together, more fighters, listen to me, more fighters are going to die in that ring than you have ever seen before in the next few years. Let them go ahead and be able to alter that Muhammad Ali Act and watch what happens in the next few years. And this will be on our watch. There is no excuse for this. Family, I'm going to land my plane there. I've got more coming to you. The video will premiere on Sunday. We must call out, regardless of your color, regardless if you're male or female, if you are a true boxing fan, it's time to stand up on truth. Peace to the family.